1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just so many hours you spent on the phone, I wasted here loving you. Now you gon' tell me that you're on your own, you're leaving me sad and blue. Just so many days you've been on my mind, you been stop trouble on down the line. Cool if I go, cool if I stay, tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Let it roll, let it glide, let it fall.
Howdy. Welcome to this, the 39th episode of the Clay and Woodrow Show.
Number 39.
Is Woodrow? Woodrow's on camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Producer, how are you this morning? This afternoon, we shall say now.
I'm good.
All right. I see that I know you're off camera, but the beard is gone.
Yeah. Got a little tired of it.
Of carrying us.
It had turned into a yeared.
Yeah.
It was a yeared.
It was a sight to behold.
It was.
I'm being as nice as I know how to be about that rascal there. in the last days, I don't mean to insult you for the whole period of time.
Yeah.
Only for the last month do I wish to insult you.
Actually, if we go back, I could pull the footage. But there was a time where you said something about a dead squirrel.
Yeah, that might have been a bit insulting, just a touch. Okay, so episode 39. That's UGA standout defensive back Nick Williams. To be honest with you, that's the only number 39 that we could really think of or find on our Google searches. And so episode 39 is in honor of Nick Williams. Speaking of University of Georgia football program, they will not be playing this breaking news. You know how we got whoop, whoop, for our sponsor? We need something for breaking news.
Yeah.
Like dun 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 dun.
We do.
Yeah, breaking news. Now, by the time everybody sees this evening, it won't be breaking news. But this just announced Georgia's not playing this weekend. Even if Georgia was playing this weekend, they weren't playing much. Vanderbilt has quit. Their coach is gone. They have quit. And so they just beg folks to come up with COVID positives so they can stop playing football because the wheels have come off the bus at Vanderbilt University. Now, I think I don't keep up too much with our local high school program. I think one of our athletes that was committed to, and he might still be committed to Vanderbilt, was Michael Mincy. And I wonder if he still is committed to Vanderbilt, considering that they are a dumpster fire. And he could be. The people like Michael Mincy might be exactly what Vanderbilt needs in order to turn this thing around.
Maybe.
You know when a program's bad?
What's that?
They start talking about their scholastics. You know, that's when you know the program's hit rock bottom. They're like, yeah, but you see how many academic, outstanding. We're like, listen, we're not interested. We're not interested in any of that kind of nonsense. Our whoop whoop, whoop whoop is rebuilding together. In short, this is a local opportunity, local effort. My point person for it has always been Barry Tanner. I think he was kind of the father of it. You know what? I'd like to say something. You know what they give these Citizens of the Year every year at the chamber banquet. And I don't have any, just tell me now, but Barry Tanner should win that award. So I'm saying it right now on the Clay and Woodrow Show. Why not Barry Tanner? He more or less is the heart and soul behind, other people help him. Barry would be the first one to tell you he's amongst the team, but rebuilding together, which used to be Christmas in April, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think it used to be, was the brainchild of Barry Tanner. And then really the push behind the Miracle League having their own baseball fields, Barry Tanner, and just quietly behind the scenes, old Barry Tanner. And has he ever won the Community Jack Williams Award?
I don't know. Do you know who won last year?
I do, I think.
Who was that? If you had to guess.
I think Rusty Hall.
Okay.
I think, but I'm not positive. That used to be that chamber banquet used to be a big, kind of to-do, and it's lost a little bit of its – now, listen, that's not because of Rusty Hall. That's a friend of mine. He's very well deserving of it.
Right.
But it used to be like the thing that everybody kind of looked forward to, and it's lost a little bit of its – or maybe I'm just older and a curmudgeon, but it seems to have lost a little bit of its steam. Mm-hmm. And I was going to blame it on COVID, but quite frankly, it happened before COVID, so that's not it. But that's a good event, and it was good last year. I mean, it was a good event. It's just lost a little bit of its participation, is all I mean by that.
Yeah.
Barry Tanner.
So come back strong, Barry Tanner.
Barry Tanner, and that would bring. And I tell you why it lost steam is they used to make the people speak that won the awards, and there's nothing more brilliantly awkward than having people that really don't want to talk have to give a speech in front of people. And now they're just like, "Do you want to say anything?" Well, nobody's going to say, "Well, yes, I sure do. I want to say something."
Exactly.
And so everybody's like, "No, thank you." And so I think dadgummit, they need to make. And old Rusty Hall, he had things he wanted to say, but he took the humble approach of saying, "No, I don't have anything to."
Yeah, humble people.
He kept reaching for his inside pocket because he had a speech prepared, but he didn't have anything to say. And I'm just kidding. Rusty Hall. Other than fact, he's an Auburn fan. He's a good cat. But he's an Auburn fan, so he's high on my prayer list just because of that.
Yeah.
And he is a pot stirrer. I'm gonna tell you on Facebook, he's a pot. Auburn, even if they have a abysmal year, he's stirring up all kind of crap between other followers of fans. But he's a proud pot stirrer. Like he calls himself a pot stirrer. He doesn't hide behind a veil or anything like that. But I think he won last year. But now that I say that, I'm not even sure that I'm right. If he didn't win, he should have. I'm covering my tracks.
He'll appreciate us stirring this
but
up.
I'll be honest, I'd go for Barry Tanner. Okay. So with that being said, let me transition kind of what is rebuilding together. Occasionally this show will get off track a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed that, Mr. Britt.
It happens.
But rebuilding together used to be kind of your Christmas in April where they go and take on sometimes 15, 20 houses, and you go and blitz the houses, and everybody and people contribute money for the supplies and all of that kind of stuff. And you get these teams, and it might be a small job on a house, it might be a big job on a house. Mm-hmm. But what they need more than anything is they need labor, they need helpers. Even if you're unskilled, there's sometimes yard work and stuff that needs to be done. But skilled folks, that certainly doesn't hurt their feelings either. If you say, well, I think it's the last weekend in April, we should probably know these things before we tout them.
Yeah.
But I will say, even if you can't be there because you're going to be doing something that weekend, get cash.
Money always works.
Money works.
Yeah.
Go run by, see Barry, and give him a large stinking check. And while you're there, give him a check for the Miracle League. Whoop whoop. Miracle League's not up there, but it could be.
But it could be.
So, and I think we've sponsored the Miracle League before. But as far as me of already giving unpopular, but you and I were kind of talking about this, about just some things, because there's times that we will evaluate some of the things that I say, just like, Clay, we sure that you want to say that? Because you still need to make a living in this town. So I want to share more unpopular things. Like, I have opinions, and I know this is going to surprise. I have opinions that people don't particularly care for, but some of these are kind of harmless. At least I think they are. And so I started sharing some of those, and I think you're of the opinion, I don't know that that's so harmless. People might, people may not. So I want to share some of those and just get some feedback here on the Clay and Woodrow Show, and just things that for the most part, and here's my first, I want to give an example that is, everybody seems to love Disney. Epcot Center is no different than the day that they built it.
This is true.
The rides are the same. I mean, if you like $14, Diet Cokes at the concession stand, we'll go to Disney. I find nothing appealing at all. So
does this also include the digital umbrella that is Disney? Marvel, Star Wars.
I see.
You're not a big sci-fi guy.
Well, so first of all,
maybe the whole thing. Maybe it's just fantasy in general.
I'm a grown man, so I don't watch Marvel. But no, I'm not referring to their big. I'm the theme park.
The theme park gotcha.
Is say, well, but Clay, they got downtown Disney. Well, I can go shopping at a mall in Jackson. What's in downtown Disney other than stores that have like dinosaurs coming out of them, like roar, with really crappy food?
Yeah,
like with chicken nuggets that Mrs. Paul's just got out of they don't have good food. They have really overpriced hotel. I will say, I got a roasted turkey leg from there one time. Turkey leg. For how much?
A whole turkey leg.
For how much?
I don't know. It was enough. It was good, though.
Did you pawn your car and then come back to buy the turkey leg?
I did, but it was worth it.
It was worth it. So I'm just not a Disney guy. But you say that, like, people actually put on their Facebook posts just like, we needed to get away. We needed a break at Disney. I'm just like, a break at Disney.
I need a break from having a break at Disney.
You needed to get some peace and quiet and calm in your life, so you went and stood in lines for hours upon hours upon hours to ride through the It's a Small World that has not changed in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Disney is not compelling to me. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, the world that we're living in today And I think privately and secretly, you're a Disney fan, Mr. Producer. Let's just say that you are. See what? Here's how it is I can have it, and we can still be friends.
I'm a Star Wars fan, and they happen to own Star Wars. So that's
Does Disney, but not originally. They must have purchased.
No. They purchased it for $4 billion.
$4 billion.
That's correct.
Could they use some of that $4 billion
to upgrade it
and update Epcot Center? You just walk through Epcot Center, it's like, would you like to visit? What do you go visit? Like Canada? And you're just like, it doesn't feel like Canada to me. It just feels like, I don't know.
Something in there. I don't.
They got the foreign countries that you go and visit, and you're just like, well, you want to go visit? I can't. Mexico, and just like,
right.
It's the same thing. Nothing has changed since that was.
I did have some Kobe beef there in, where is that? Japan. Isn't that where you normally get?
Maybe. I don't know. Epcot's horrible.
No, I agree.
And then, like, what about Animal Kingdom? It's the hotel with the
zoo.
zoo.
It once you've seen
a zoo. I've seen a giraffe at zoos. Disney. Yeah. I'm not a Disney guy. See, that's not a popular opinion. Now, here's how I'm different than the rest of the world. If you are a Disney person, I don't care. Doesn't bother me.
Right.
Doesn't bother me.
Right.
The next, now this one is going to get some people upset. Not that Disney didn't.
People. I mean,
do you know the next one I'm about to say?
No.
I'm going to give you a little hint and just say, Clay, I'm going to say, Mr. Producer, should I go for this? But Georgia football broadcasting. This is going to rub some people the wrong way. But Larry Munson.
Oh.
May he rest in peace. Not for me.
Not a fan.
I don't need somebody to say, let me see if I can go back to the times of Whirly sticks his nose in there and gets 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. I'm just like, well, Larry, what did he get? Did he get 2 yards or did he get 8 yards? I'm following this game. It's pivotal for me to know, did he get, 2 yards? And then my favorite thing is, it's a long, high, deep, short punt. I'm just like, well, I'm on the radio, Larry. I need to know, was that a long punt? Was that a short punt? I wasn't a Larry Munson man. Now, I didn't dislike Larry Munson at all, so I would consider him neutral to me. Yeah. I like Scott Howard better than I like Larry Munson. And people, like, I would have to have security at my house tonight because I made this statement. Not a big Larry Munson fan. Now, I don't know of anybody that shares that opinion with me, and I'm coming public with it.
It's probably not a popular opinion.
Can I tell you, I'm brave.
You are.
To say that I'm brave.
You are.
To be able to say something like that.
Brave is one word.
So here's my next thing. And my co-owner is going to be mad with me this, but Jeeps, people that go buy a Jeep, why don't you just not rotate the tires on your current car and bounce around, and then you'll have the same thing.
Maybe take the shocks off.
Just take the shocks off and ride over every curb that you can in town and ride it up and down, and you'll get the same driving experience that you do. I'm getting on fire now because I'm going to make some Jeep people mad, some Larry Munson people mad. I'm going to make some Disney people mad. But have you ever ridden in a Jeep before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The most uncomfortable riding vehicle. I'm not just talking about, what do they call the Jeeps that look like Jeeps? Those are like Wranglers and Rubicons and those. So those are like, if Blenders made a car, which doesn't even make sense. If Blender companies made a car, that's what they would make. They would make a Jeep. They're horrible. They're horribly built, blender. Very expensive, and they're extremely uncomfortable to ride in. But even their little other things they make, like Cherokees and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my lands. So somebody rides it and test drives it, and they come back and they say two things. They're just like, hey, can I get a neck brace? Because that experience I just had, I need a neck brace. And two, where do I sign up? I love this vehicle. Yeah. Jeeps are horrible. They're horrible. Okay, who else can I make mad? Well, this one ain't going to. I mean, everybody agrees with this, but Pepsi? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
No Pepsi.
Oh, my gracious. And these restaurants around town, I'm going to name one. I love the Mexican trailer. But I refuse to order a Pepsi. I just like, can I have a Diet Coke? Every time I order, they don't have it. They're just like, is a Diet Pepsi okay? And I just want to say, no, not really. That's not. We're in Georgia. Coca-Cola. If I wanted Pepsi, Mr. Producer, I would let my Coke go flat. That's right. And I would have a Pepsi.
That's right.
And so, not a big fan of Pepsi either. Any Pepsi. Well, I don't know. Now, Diet Sunkist is my favorite drink.
Yeah.
So all of my fans.
Who owns that now? Is it Sunkist? It's probably just Sunkist.
I don't even know who is the distribution company.
But you don't care.
But all the fan mail that we get.
Yeah.
And we get just bags of that fan mail that comes into me. And I appreciate you reading some of those. And
Golly.
we can't get back to all of y'all. But this time of year, they also drop off some gifts. Just like gift of the old Clay and Woodrow show. And Joyner Heating and Air did drop off ribs for the Clay and Woodrow show. I didn't share any with you, but they
Thanks
did.
a lot.
They did drop off ribs. But I have a feeling that there'll be mounds of Diet Sunkist outside of my door.
Probably will.
Tomorrow, and I'm appreciative. Let me just thank you in advance for that gift. Who else do I need? Oh, then I've already gone over this ad nauseum. But Jimmy Buffett is not. That's not good music.
Yeah.
That's people that like in their childhood just love like Captain Kangaroo and Picture Pages and the Wiggles and that kind of stuff. And just like, I'm an adult, but I still want dance moves to music. Jimmy Buffett is. And then he does the talk sing in the middle of a song like, where's the navigational beacon? It's somewhere. This kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't talk in the middle of your song to me. Sing your song, get to the end of it, and go to your next song. Don't need you to whisper talk to me in the middle of a song. So my unpopular opinions for the day, in the season of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Disney, want to upset those guys. Larry Munson fans, sorry, not a fan. Not a bad. He used to eat breakfast at the Ramada Inn, and I would see him every morning at breakfast. And he just sat by himself. I mean, I didn't go stalk him. I was a little kid. But, and so personally, don't have any issues with him, but of his broadcast, I could live without it. Jeeps. I'm just not tough enough to ride in one because I don't like herniated disc. And then Pepsi is nasty. And then, but now for those people that are employed by Pepsi, I'm proud of you because you have a job and jobs are great. I'm just saying personally to my palate, I don't like Pepsi.
Yeah.
And then if you do listen to Jimmy Buffett, we're no longer friends. Remember how I told you, listen, if you listen to Jimmy Buffett, I don't like it, but I don't have a problem. I do have a problem. I have a problem if you listen to Jimmy Buffett. I want to end our friendship. That's where I draw the line. I've had enough with Jimmy Buffett. Speaking of which, I'm trying to transition, and I was going to say, speaking of Jimmy Buffett, let's talk about Chris Collinsworth. But we talked about it. So Chris Collinsworth, who, although he went to the University of Florida, and that's an unpopular opinion, I didn't share it because everybody hates the University of Florida. But let's go to Chris Collinsworth and what he said. I had it up, and I probably deleted it.
Who did he play? He played professional ball, didn't
Yeah, for Cincinnati, for the Bengals.
he? Yeah.
And I think I've lost it here, but I can tell you what he said. But Chris Collinsworth the other day in a game was speaking about how knowledgeable the fans were of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then he made the statement, he says, and down in the hotel, I even met some female fans, and they really impressed me. They too had an extreme amount of knowledge and asked me some very detailed and poignant questions. I'm paraphrasing because I'm a better wordsmith than Chris Collinsworth. He just wins Emmys doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
Have we won an Emmy yet here?
Not
at
yet.
Okay,
Not
not
yet.
yet. Okay, so Chris Collinsworth just said, but I was also very blown away by some females that asked me questions, and their knowledge of the game was really impressive to me. And he says, overall, the knowledge base, the fan base of Pittsburgh Steelers fans is very impressive. He started getting, why wouldn't females have a great knowledge of the game? What do you mean by that? So, A, Chris Collinsworth did nothing wrong. But two, he's in a position then when he has to apologize, and he did. He went out and said, I'm just so disappointed in myself for saying so. So, A, you want to kick Chris Collinsworth right in the shins for just saying, hey, man up, man. You didn't say anything wrong. You gave these people a compliment. And it is a little unusual for women to have a great knowledge about the game, the professional sport of football.
Yeah.
And that's all he was saying. But he had to apologize. And so he's in a bad situation. He didn't have any other choice but to apologize. But he did. So then it makes you mad with Chris Collinsworth. It definitely makes you mad with the people that got upset by that. And by the way, they're probably Jimmy Buffett listeners.
Were they Pittsburgh fans?
Just random
people
in general. Just because today, if you've got an opinion, you can get a show much like this, and you can share it anytime you want. But no, I think just these quick little tweets and that kind of stuff, and that came in.
We call those trolls.
And they got upset with Chris Collinsworth.
Poor guy.
And I just so. No good deed goes unpunished. He's just trying to give a compliment to the fan base, and then he has to end up giving an apology. And then we get into the world. Then of the other day, Kirby Smart said, "Have you talked to your team about the kicker at Vanderbilt?" Now this is back when we thought we were going to play Vanderbilt, where the kicker temporarily is a female.
Yes.
And Kirby Smart came close to answering it the right way. He just said, on our kickoff return package, we really don't account for the kicker. If we get to that far and the kicker is a pertinent part of the play, then we've done something pretty special. What he's saying is if we return the ball so far back that the kicker's going to potentially that's a pretty doggone good day for us. We have a plan for kickoff return, but we don't address the kicker. And he was smart by doing that. They were saying is, have you addressed the fact that the kicker is a female for Vanderbilt? And he wouldn't bite on that because he's in a no-win situation, also on that kind of thing to say, what do you do if you hit her, you're wrong. If you don't hit her, you're wrong.
Would you be wrong if you hit her?
Oh, absolutely not. But people with Twitter,
trolls
and Pepsi drinkers are going to get on there, and he's
from
just,
Disney.
Yeah, he's
straight
just like,
directly from Disney.
In special teams meetings, we don't really account for the kicker, and that's all he gave there. So I thought that was kind of a cool answer as well. But that game's not even going to happen because they're claiming it has to do with COVID cases. But I'm just telling you, Vanderbilt. By the way, people say they don't need to be in the SEC. Vanderbilt has some phenomenal baseball, so we would really lose them in other sports. Primarily baseball. They might have other good sports. I'm just not real familiar with Vanderbilt, but their football program, the wheels have just completely come off.
Well, they also have a good scholastic program.
Yeah, but that right there tells you they can't be good at football.
Right.
So, I used to, and you can even see the little helmet up there. I coached the slingshot football team, 7 and 8 year olds, and then I think we did 9 and 10 year olds, and Sean Smoke, coached with me. And I think we've covered this before, but I think we were 0 and 11 over our 2 years. Technically, in a little scrimmage game over in Brantley County, we won, but we don't count that. We should count that because it would be our only win. But interestingly, we're 0 and 11, but we would constantly, when people would ask us how the team's going, we would start our conversation like, these are some of the smartest boys, and then everybody's like, oh, it's kind of like in college when somebody asks you about, a girl, let's just say Sally, just like, well, what's the natural question in college when you start talking about Sally? Somebody's eventually going to say, what, Mr. Producer? Don't get yourself in trouble. But what are they going to ask?
Yeah.
You're not going to get yourself in
You're the one that's running this.
Okay. So, but they would eventually get to the question just like, well, is she pretty? And then if somebody goes, well, she's really sweet, that's the equivalent of saying, but she's not necessarily that pretty.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy with looks. I don't know if you noticed that, but I'm not a guy with looks either. But whenever somebody asks you about your football team and you start talking about how academically gifted they are, that's what we did with our little slingshots. And then all the other dads would be like, "Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. That means they're not good. That means they're not good at all." Wanted to close out the show. What minute mark are we on, by the way?
Yeah, we're about 22.
22. Okay, so we'll close out. I think we're going to do down the road. I think we're going to do some Monroe Park investigation, Cherokee Heights Neighborhood Association investigation of the fence at Monroe Park. We know enough right now to be dangerous.
The alleged fence.
The alleged fence, because we have no problems with this show doing this. We will speak out of turn, and we will speak, and we have absolutely no idea what we're talking about. We don't know about the fence, so we're going to do some investigative reporting, like Pulitzer Prize winning investigative reporting. But we might go on scene. What we say that on scene or whatever.
Sure.
And on the scene reporting for our next one. But I want to close with this. So my daughter, the apple of my eye.
Yeah.
I love that little thing. She's got, and we might have covered this, but she's got her first real job, and so I do not get involved with her finances because that's her money. She's worked hard for it. I have asked both of the kids to open up a savings account and whatever they get paid to put some portion of that into a savings account. And but I have some parameters, but not a lot of parameters. But now when they ask me for something that's just like a ridiculous purchase, I just get to say, well, don't you get a paycheck now? And so they're getting better about that. And so my daughter's first big purchase.
Yeah. What's that?
She gets offended if you call it this, but this is what it is. You know what a Snuggie is? It's the blanket jacket combo.
Yeah, reverse. It goes on the front.
Does
it go on the front?
Yeah, I guess. This is technically not called a Snuggie, but it is a cow pattern, dairy cow, white with black spots. Big hoodie thing, but looks more like a moo, which is kind of funny. Get it, moo, because of, and she loves it. It costs $55.
Wow.
It probably is worth maybe $2.19. And that's being very, very generous. She wears it constantly, and she thinks that it looks terrific. And it scares me because that was her first debate. Do you remember like when you got your first real job, what your first like big crazy purchase was? I do remember. Now, she's just a high school kid. I'm talking about like your first real job where you say, I'm going to go buy something a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it?
It was a Nintendo 64.
So I'm talking about as a grown man, that was your purchase with your first job? 18-ish? Not a proud moment, but you just
pretty right out of college.
So out of college, you bought a Nintendo with your first big
I didn't work much.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to write you up on charges of that. So my first big purchase, I worked at a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What game was your game back then? So you're
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye. So you
James
were
Bond.
22-ish.
Yeah.
And
I killed a lot of people in that game. It was worth every penny.
But you know what I like about you, there, Mr. Producer, is like you say it with confidence. You're like, I'm not backing out of this.
It's one of those unpopular things. People are like, he plays video games.
Right. That's right. 22. Okay. So to that, my first purchase was very different than that. But I was working out of college. I worked for the Patterson Bank, and I'd saved up a little bit of money. And this is what I went and purchased was a dog. So I drove to Wild Rose Kennels, and I bought, predating Woody, obviously, but I bought a dog, which was a really silly. It was an expensive dog, but I bought a dog. My daughter purchases a more or less a Snuggie. That is
That's not a Snuggie.
Yeah, and it looks. I mean, we keep telling her the first day how cute it was, and then finally I just says, that looks horrible.
Wow.
But she don't care. She like $55. And of course she put it on my Amazon account, but used her debit card. I was proud for that. If she's going to buy something hideous,
very nice.
In the past that would have been on my nickel.
Exactly.
Yeah, but not now. And I'm just like, I don't care. That's your money.
Right.
If that's your first major purchase is a moo that looks like a moo, then go ahead with it. Any big plans for? We'll probably air another show before Christmas, won't we? Yeah, we definitely will. Yeah, we definitely will. So, but we might talk about that, discover some of your Christmas plans. But we might have some on the scene action at Monroe Park and get to the bottom of that.
And who knows where that's going to lead?
Yeah, because my understanding, I don't want to get into this, do I? Yeah, I do. Is that they're going to fence all the way around the park? Correct.
That's
for children's safety. We'll get to the bottom of this.
Who knows?
We'll get to the bottom of that. I mean, man, that'll look attractive. Man, it'll look good. Man.
Who's going to mow around it? That's what I want to know.
Oh, the same people who don't mow it now.
So if you don't mow it, then what are you going to somebody will spray some toxic chemicals on it and kill the grass around it.
So anyhow, let's cover that. Let's cover that down the road. That'll put people in the Christmas spirit. Hear me gripe and complain about a fence in a park.
Yeah,
yeah. I think that's what'll put people in the Christmas spirit.
Very, very Christmas-ish for us.
That is right. So anyhow, I do want to say, although they're not, I did go to Coppage Farms. I did buy my tree.
Yeah.
I did just very kindly let them know that we had mentioned them on the show, and they weren't aware of the Clay and Woodrow show.
They were not.
It kind of hurt my heart. Just a little bit. And I said it back to him like maybe I misspoke or stuttered. It didn't say the Clay and Woodrow show. Yeah. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I said, okay. All right. I thought they'd follow up with really. Now, how do we look into that? Nothing.
Did you find out are they running their Facebook page?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what we need to know.
Yeah.
Who's running that Facebook page?
Well, I can tell you this.
We need to tag them.
The sweetest people. Oh,
they are.
Man. I have a family member who's been a little under the weather. Before they even checked them out, they need to know how my family member was doing. So I thought that was super, super nice. Great people. All right, Mr. Producer, we're going to Oh, Woody.
Woody's
Away from
out.
the dead. So we're going to call it a wrap. And it's good seeing you.
Good to see you.
And the 39th episode of the Clay and Woodrow Show is coming to an end. You guys take it.
Off the side.